And he is livid at this point.
Yeah.
Like we're now like deep into the movie where all the scenes are gone.
Director that's just like, make sure to cut that guy out.
Yeah. All right, so the Battle of Los Angeles story. Before I actually started working in the film industry, I am now director of studio operations here at Celtic. But before I started working in the industry, I had graduated from LSU with a minor in theater and mostly communication studies major, because that's all they really offered then. I had taken a few wonderful film media arts classes at the time, so I was into film, but I couldn't find my way into it yet. I was still managing at Outback Steakhouse at the time, and that basically takes up all your time. If anybody's worked in the restaurant world, they definitely know that you have to grind in order to make the money. It's not like you take one shift a week and you're able to make rent. You got to push at it every day.
Right.
My buddy had moved to town, and other than his job that he had a regular 9 to 5, he was like, we got to do something, man. I'm bored out of my skull, like just sitting around the house whenever I'm not at work. And so he decided to sign up for Battle Los Angeles, doing background extra stuff. And I thought it was cool. I didn't really want to be an extra, and I knew that kind of being an extra was like slow and a little lame in the film world. So I kind of like put him up. So I had spoken to other film friends and just known that the pace of the day is like really fast and going for like 10, 20 minutes, and then you like sit for hours.
Right.
So I'd experienced that is not the way that I wanted to break into the film world. I'd also had some professors be like, well, you could definitely go be an extra, but I promise you, like, that doesn't mean you get to be on set and talk to the crew. They're all working while they're trying to do stuff. It's not the greatest way in order to meet people that are in there.
And they keep you in a separate section from everybody.
Because they don't want to talk to you. They're like, listen, they're an extra. You are a prop with legs. Like, we're going to dress you up. We're going to put you where you need to be. And then just, like, don't talk to us. Like, don't say anything. Anyway, he signed up for it. I was a little hesitant. It wasn't paying near enough money in order for me to stop one day of regular work just so that I could go do this. But he had gotten 3 or 4 days under his belt, and I finally cracked. I was like, fine, I'll take off 1 day of work. Me and you will go out there. He's like, it's been pretty boring most of the time, but we still get to hang out. We can talk. All right. If anything, I'm just going to hang out with my buddy. We get there, they dress us up, they shave my head because I'm supposed to be a soldier, they put us in these outfits, give us name tags and rubber guns and everything. Like, it's a fun day. Like, just play and dress up, right? And as we're sitting in the room, he's telling me about what he'd been doing the couple weeks beforehand, right? And they had gone out to the sand dunes, and they had basically driven an army truck out there.
All the way in Shreveport?
Yeah.
Okay, or St. Francisville.
St. Francisville
one, okay.
And so basically they were running in lines of 2, these soldiers all dressed up in the hot sun in the sand dunes in St. Francisville. And their scene was run past the camera where Aaron Eckhart was talking to the second, and they had to climb into the back of the truck, and then the truck was supposed to take off, right? So they cut right before the truck takes off, reset, do it again. He said that they must have done that 150, 200 times. And he was so adamant about making sure that he was in the exact same spot every time. Because he's like, when I get in the movie, I want to be able to see exactly where I'm going to be, right?
Just being a professional.
Right. It's like, I want to be able to find myself. Perfect. So he's like, in today's things that we're doing, like try and remember where you're at, what's happening around you, figure out the camera points, because not everything's going to get used. A lot of it's going to cut and end up on the floor.
And they probably had like 5 cameras rolling on everything.
At all points in time. But we were out at the Baton Rouge airport, and we got to film out on the tarmac as they had a bunch of these cool, I guess that's Air Force helicopters and stuff that we would run out of, and we'd do all these cross moves around stuff. I tried to stay in the same spot every time. I tried to make sure I could remember where I was at. There was even one shot where they kind of pan across. There's 4 of us sitting at a desk looking at laptop computers. Pan, camera, past us, past my buddy Eric, past the other guy at the end. Both. Fast forward to, that was a great day, but we're going to the theater. We're watching the movie together. It comes out, and we are looking for ourselves in the whole movie.
Of course.
Okay. We start watching the movie, and sure enough, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, there's a shot of just me staring at the laptop, just like rubbing my head in disbelief and like confusion. And it stops at me. My friend gets cut off. He's like, no, I missed. He's like, that's okay. I was there for like a week. Chris showed up one day. I'm sure I'm in another scene.
Of course, yeah.
If you get to the title menu, you've gone too far. My scene's already done. That's how early I was into the movie.
I'm going to try to pull this clip.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
The second scene, his is coming up. He's in a debriefing with a room and everything. And they had pulled him from the front row and put him in the back. And sure enough, you can't see him in the shot. He's hidden
like
behind somebody else.
Yeah.
Right behind it. The third
great.
scene, that running scene where he was in the sand the entire
That
time.
he did 150 takes of.
So many takes.
Yeah.
He comes, the whole squad comes running by, and they cut right before it gets to Eric.
Oh, that's funny.
And he is livid at this point.
Yeah.
Like we're now like
I'd
deep
love
into
to
the
see
movie
some,
where
like,
all the
editor or
scenes are
some
gone.
director that's just like, make sure to cut that guy out.
That guy,
Yeah.
But like we're about like 20 minutes in, and he's like, I'm not in any of these scenes. Like that, I'm not in anywhere that any of this stuff is here, like relevant. I'm
He's
nowhere.
not paying attention to the movie at all.
Right. He's just livid.
Yeah.
He is so mad. He is like, Chris, I showed up for weeks. Like, they shaved my head, like, shaved my face, put me in 10 different outfits, like, put me in all these different scenes. And every time they would cut it. You show up one day, and you didn't even want to be there. You show up one day,
And you get
and
a
you
close up.
close up. Just Chris right there staring at a laptop. He's like, I'm mad at you forever. So...
Well, they can recognize talent. That's all.
And that's what I'm saying. They saw a good-looking face, buddy. They knew what they wanted as a shot. And knowing now what I know, the shot that they pulled is actually just a B-roll camera guy was like, I'm going to pick up a few things here or there. Like, it has nothing to do with anything else. It's just, he was like, all right, cool. Do that thing you had done again with the face and the thing. Yeah. I was doing it in between takes of other things. Yeah. And I was like, cool, that was awesome. I wonder what that's going to turn into.
Well, and that camera guy's probably like, yes, what shot me? It's teamwork, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, see something good. You've got the skill to capture it. That's what we got to do.
Yeah. I wonder if we can find that camera guy. That'd be funny. Camera guy, if you're out there, leave us a comment.
Please, yes, right at the bottom. I want to know. And furthermore, I want to introduce you to my buddy Eric, who tried the hardest in order to get into this movie, and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up episode with the camera guy.
That's fun.